What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video I am diving into the Jungle Cup Great League Edition for the first time. I have been gone. This weekend I was in London for the European International Championships as we saw Emmy Weedle rise above the top battlers in the world, 320 competitors there, and Emmy Weedle was able to take it. I've also kind of lost my voice because of the event, but I am back. I'm excited to dive into Go Battle League myself. These are my first battles. I was taking a look at the meta. Abomasnow and Vigoroth obviously look incredibly strong, so I wanted to pair it with something that could help that out. Clodsire could do pretty well there. I believe ZyoniK posted a video with Clodsire, and then I'm going to be trying out Toxipex here. I could be wrong about I remember seeing ZyoniK talking about Clodsire. But yeah, Abomasnow Vigoroth, extremely strong in this meta. I do have Shadow Abomasnow with Weather Ball over there, so we're going to be diving right into these battles. Alright, getting into the first one, we have Whiscash on the lead. Obviously a terrible lead, so I'm going to be utilizing the Vigoroth as a safe swap on this team, and we draw out a Tentacruel. This is pretty good for us, considering that Abomasnow is in the back. We take a lot of damage from the super effective Shadow Poison Jab, right? Or we are Shadow. The Poison Jabs here from the Tentacruel would do a lot of damage. Now, what I'm going to look to do is shield this first charge move. Typically, we're probably going to be seeing Scald in this kind of situation, and sure enough, it was. Now, from here on out, I'm not going to be shielding. I'm just going to look to go for double body slam and just try to maintain, or try to take switch if I can, as we do get a shield right there. But if they do get to a charge move, I'm not going to shield the Scald. I'd rather come in and load up on energy and try to let Abomasnow sweep. We do get 2 shields right there, which is why I'm making this decision of I'm going to no shield here. The 1-0s could go very well for me, so I'm going to go ahead and let this go. But my opponent decided to throw Acid Spray, and that was a critical mistake as I was able to get to the body slam just in time, and this is going to be enough to knock out the Tentacruel. So we have we've switched the mid game here. We have 1-0 shield advantage, and we have Shadow Abomasnow. Now a Skarmory comes in, and what I'm going to look to do is soften up this Skarmory and then come in with the Toxipex, as Abomasnow has an incredible matchup against the Whiscash in the back. Now this matchup right here, I'm going to do something very unconventional. I'm not going to shield anything. Why? We're gonna see Brave Birds here from Skarmory, and what I want to do is let the Skarmory live. It's interesting, I know, but what we're going to do is we're going to undercharge this brine right here. This is not going to be enough to knock out the Skarmory. If they want to let me farm them down, so be it, but I'm just going to go ahead and let this go, as they do go for another Brave Bird, and then boom, down we go. And then we're going to come in with Abomasnow, Powder Snow down. Obviously we have the 1-0s here against a Shadow Whiscash, and that is going to be a good game, very well played, as a Shadow Whiscash unfortunately cannot get to multiple charge moves, and they are all resisted. Scald would still do a decent amount, but we did have shield advantage. So Energy Ball here, going to be one-shotting, and Abomasnow, a big threat in this Jungle Cup meta. Boom! Down it goes. See ya! Alright, get in the next one. Toxipex on the lead versus Shadow Abomasnow. Very positive lead here for me, so I'm going to see what my opponent decides to do, and they come in with Lantern. So I'm instantly going to swap into Abomasnow. Now, there could be another water in the back. There could be a Whiscash, there could be Toxipex. There's a lot of things that could be back there, but Abomasnow in this situation can do very well, because we have the ability to go for the one-shot here with Energy Ball, and we also have a lot of neutral damage that we can do. Boom! See ya! With the Weather Ball against the Shadow Abomasnow in the mirror, and we are ahead on energy. And we can also determine if we're going to come in with Toxipex or Vigoroth. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Weather Ball right here, and this just does a lot of damage in the mirror, especially Shadow on Shadow. It's about 50%, as you guys can see, and they unfortunately will not be able to win charge attack priority, so I'm able to land a second one. This is huge for me in this mid game, as Abomasnow decides to let it go, and they're going to trust in Whiscash to close this game out. But thankfully for me, my switch clock was up, and I went into the Vigoroth right away. Had there been maybe a Vigoroth in the back, I swap into Toxipex for that matchup, right? but ultimately this is going to be a good game. I can safely just shield on my Vigoroth, as Scalds are likely going to be thrown as they desperately want to try to lower my attack. That's the only kind of win con they have, is attack drops from Scald, and which is a 50-50 chance, right? So we're flipping the coin every single time. They have to shield my early body slams, and at this point now, it's basically going to be a good game because I was able to do so much damage as they decide to go for Mud Bomb, and now I get a free body slam right here, and this sealed the deal. We still have our Toxipex with full HP, and we still have Abomasnow with a little bit of health and Powder Snow damage, which might just be enough, but we won't need it, right? This Whiscash unfortunately just doesn't have enough damage, doesn't have enough energy. Vigoroth is going to be able to get to the body slam. I decided to just go for the counter down, but my opponent decided to throw right here, so they're fighting the good fight, but we're going to go ahead and bring in that Toxipex and fast move down, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. All right, get in the next one. Toxipex versus Altaria here on the lead. Now, Altaria commonly pairs in the Open Great League with Lantern. It can pair as well in this meta with a Lantern. So we're going to look to save our Abomasnow, and they actually swap into Steelix. Now, I made a critical mistake right there. I had an opportunity to go for a free Brine. That does super effective damage against the Steelix. It softens it up so that Vigoroth can aggressively farm down with counter, because now in this situation, I'm going to be forced to throw body slams. Had I thrown a Brine, I wouldn't really need to, and coming out of here with double Rock Slide is pretty deadly against an Altaria. So now we're going to have to give up a shield in order to maintain switch advantage. I think I can counter down even with the Psychic Fang debuffs, because I did get the counter through right there, and we are able to get it, and now I can go for a Rock Slide here against the Altaria if they decide to come in, but I opted to go for Body Slam, hoping that I could get to 2. This is likely going to be shielded anyways, which they do, and I don't make it there in time, unfortunately. So we're going to come in with Abomasnow now and look to go for an aggressive farm down. I will have to give up the final shield here, but what I want is a lot of energy, especially if there's a Whiscash or Lantern in the back, but it's actually going to be the Abomasnow Mirror. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Weather Ball. You guys saw how much damage this did before. It's like basically 50% HP as they decide to let it go. And now I come in with Toxipex, which was loaded on energy, and I'm free to go for Brines. This is enough resisted damage to knock out the Abomasnow. Altaria only has one condition in front of it. It has to Dragon Breath me down or get to the point where they have 2 Sky Attacks, right? Whichever comes first. And in this situation, I do get a shield with Brine, and now I put their back against the wall, and I can go ahead and go for Sludge Wave. They couldn't Dragon Breath me down in time, and they couldn't get double Sky Attack, so that is going to be a boom. Good game, very well played. All right, moving in the next one, Toxipex versus Vigoroth here on the lead. Really good lead for us considering our backline, and I make a mistake. Look what swaps in. It's Mandibuzz, and I just went straight into Abomasnow, and this was a bait. I could have easily come in with Vigoroth right here. Vigoroth has a decent matchup against the Mandibuzz because of the counter neutral damage, the Rock Slide super effective damage, and even the Body Slam pressure that can be applied. Now, why was this a mistake? Well, if you got a Vigoroth on the lead, you got a Mandibuzz safe swap. They are trying desperately to draw out the anti-flyer, and I'm taking super effective damage from Aerial Ace. So it could be an Altaria in the back, it could be a Skarmory in the back, it could be a Dragonite in the back, it could be a Talonflame in the back. If a Talonflame, then I made the right decision here, but you guys know what I mean. I'm gonna have to go for the farm down here as I decide to give up the shield and farm down. We have shield disadvantage, but we maintain switch. I swap into Toxipex, and sure enough, it was Dragonite there. Now, the reason why I swapped into Toxipex was to keep the Abomasnow alive in case I need the Weather Ball, and knowing that my own Vigoroth can go toe-to-toe with them in the mirror. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Sludge Wave here. This is going to be getting the final shield from my opponent, and then I'm hopefully going to be able to get to another one, but they are going to aggressively farm me down with Dragon Breath, and I don't get the Brine in time. That is so much damage that I needed right there, because now I'm forced to come in with Abomasnow and go for the Weather Ball here to knock out Dragonite. Switch clock for me is not up just yet. Their Vigoroth is going to get ahead on energy, and that is a good game. So I could have played that better, right? I could have brought in Vigoroth into Mandibuzz. And the thing is, the second I brought in Abomasnow, I knew, I'm like, that's a bait. That's an absolute bait. I should have kept my Abomasnow alive. But it could have been a Talonflame, right? They could have been wanting to bait out Lanturns or something like that. It could have been a Skarmory, which is still a tough matchup because of Steel Wing. Hindsight is great to have, but ultimately could have played it a little better. Good game. All right, moving to the next one. Steelix on the lead. This is a tough one, so I just swap out into Vigoroth right away, and they bring in a Vigoroth. This is a cardinal sin in Go Battle League, everyone. If a Vigoroth swaps in, your own Vigoroth is not the immediate answer. You have to get an advantage in some way. That Steelix would need to chunk some health and apply Psychic Fang debuffs. You cannot come into the mirror behind on energy and no real health advantage, right? Because I got maybe 2 counters in before they came in, and now you guys are going to see that I'm easily going to be able to take switch here by giving up a shield, and I've just taken switch advantage. Now, do I need switch advantage? I think I'm going to have to. Now that's Steelix is obviously going to be a big threat, but I get to go for a free Rock Slide here against the Altaria as they only have 1 shield remaining. We'll have to see what moveset Steelix is using, but the Powder Snow Abomasnow, I force the Altaria out and draw the Steelix back onto the field. Powder Snow and Weather Ball here is going to do so much neutral damage against the Steelix that they're going to start getting into a very tough position because Crunch is not going to be enough to KO me. Breaking Swipe definitely would not be. Psychic Fangs would not be. An Earthquake, obviously, they didn't have enough energy. So we are able to survive. We're able to get to another Weather Ball right here. If they decide to let this go, we might just be able to Powder Snow down, but they decided to shield. So now what we have to see is what charge moves my opponent has. They are a long ways away from an Earthquake, so we'll have to see as I decide to come in with Toxipex. The meta right now for Shadow Steelix is Psychic Fangs. They are building up quite a bit of energy. If this is Earthquake, so be it, but I don't think it is. I think this is just Psychic Fangs, and now I have an opportunity in front of me, and that is going to be to throw the Sludge Wave as they tried to catch the Brine on the Altaria. This Sludge Wave here will be enough to knock out the Altaria. And now, what you guys are going to see is I'm going to go for the swap right now to catch the Psychic Fangs. This does 2 things for me. It catches the energy, obviously, and it clears the original debuff that was applied to my Toxipex, which is going to allow me to get to this Brine in order to win this game. So that is going to be a good game, very well played to my opponent. Boom, down it goes. Alright, moving to the next one. Toxipex on the lead versus Shadow Victory Bell. We like seeing Shadow Victory Bell with this team. We are doing so much damage with Poison Jab. Abomasnow shreds it beyond all belief. And what we can easily do here is get ourselves shield advantage. I can safely no-shield a Leaf Blade. It will not KO your Toxipex from this health range. And now they decide to swap into Altaria, so I'm going to go ahead and bank my energy on Toxipex and come in with Abomasnow. Now I want you guys to notice, by the time they get to this Sky Attack, Altaria is well below 50% HP. What this means is I'm going to be able to go for the aggressive farm down. This energy has a lot of places it can go as we farm it down, and then Shadow Victory Bell comes back in. This is devastating for them. If this is their best answer, Abomasnow will obviously be able to get to 3 Weather Balls because I already have 2 loaded and I'm 1 Powder Snow away from the 3rd. I don't really need to worry about the Razor Leaf damage here as I'm able to survive because of our typing, and this Weather Ball is going to be taking out Shadow Victory Bell. Boom! See ya on maybe Community Day this month, as Lantern is going to be the final Pokemon. Vigoroth right here is going to be able to close this game for us. Counter Body Slam is going to do phenomenal here. We just want to make sure we shield the potential Thunderbolt, which I believe this was enough energy, so I'm just going to go ahead and give up the shield, but it was a Surf. Maybe I miscounted there, but that's alright. We're just going to go ahead and go for Body Slam. Thunderbolt won't be enough to KO anyways. We just have to make sure we shield one of the charge moves here, and then I'm going to look to go for the Rock Slide here to knock out, as I think Body Slam would have been enough there anyways. Rock Slide is definitely enough, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Boom. See ya, Lantern. All right, moving into the next battle, we have Toxipex on the lead versus Altaria once again. Like I've said before, this can pair very well with water-type Pokemon, so maybe a Whiscash, maybe a Lantern. So we want to keep our Toxipex here against the Altaria, even though we have a Abomasnow in the back, and I'm just overloading on energy. I am waiting for them to bail or try to catch a bail and try to catch a charge move, but I go straight for Sludge Wave there, and it does land. This is pretty good for us. I'm not going to give up a shield, right? I'm reading that there might be a Whiscash or a Lantern, some kind of water in the back that Abomasnow can do well against. If it's Tentacruel or Toxipex, so be it. But we're going to go ahead and let this Sky Attack go through. We're going to come in and get energy here on Abomasnow and look to Powder Snow down. Now, their best answer coming in is going to be, wait for it, it's going to be a Mantine. And I thought this was pretty interesting. I know Mantine is doing, it's a great matchup for it, right? Don't get me wrong. It's doing super effective damage with Wing Attack and Aerial Ace. It only takes neutral, but my thought is there might actually be a Whiscash in the back, as they do have double flyers right here. So they really need something to hard lock down a Lantern. So I decided to swap into Vigoroth, but it was actually a Vigoroth in the back. This is a lot worse of a matchup than Whiscash because of the fact that counter is doing super effective damage. Now, because I'm ahead on energy, I will be able to give up a shield right here in order to go for the Body Slam. My opponent still has 2 shields remaining, and this isn't looking too good, right? Abomasnow in the back against a Vigoroth, but my opponent decides to give up a shield, rightfully so, and thankfully we get the Vigoroth into the red, which Shadow Abomasnow now can Powder Snow down just in time. So all hope is not lost. We're going to look to go for the double Weather Ball here. It's going to be doing a lot of neutral damage. Mantine only has 1 shield remaining. We throw the first one. We throw the second one. And I should have done a Powder Snow right there. But hey ho, this is we knock each other out. Good game, very well played. All right, moving to the next one. Guzzlord on the lead. I believe this is the final battle. Yeah, Guzzlord on the lead. We swap into Vigoroth, and they bring in a Wigglytuff. Now, this is what I love about Vigoroth, is it's that pseudo fighter. It counters what it's supposed to, but it doesn't take super effective damage from the typical counters to a fighter, that being a Charmer right here. And we can easily take switch advantage or just get 2-0 shields, right? Because of the Body Slam spam. So my opponent decides to no shield. They let me get switch. And obviously, Abomasnow versus Guzzlord is going to be a very nice matchup for us. And if they have double Charmer, well, it's all over. But thankfully, there is a Vigoroth in the back, and we can get to one more Body Slam right here. So now we have the alignment. We have Toxipex into Vigoroth, which is below 50% HP, which means Poison Jab here is going to be sealing the deal for us. My opponent will eventually be swapping into Guzzlord, and we're going to checkmate them with the Shadow Abomasnow, as we're just going to go ahead and load up on energy. And here, after this Body Slam, I am anticipating them swapping at this point. Vigoroth's too low, so I'm looking at the top right hand of the screen, and there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the Sludge Wave, actually. This is going to do a lot of neutral damage, and it's going to be forcing a shield from my opponent, and now Abomasnow can clutch this up in the 2-to-1 shield advantage. And thankfully, because of the switch timer, we were able to load up on quite a bit of energy there as they decide to throw a Crunch. No debuff by them, but a double Weather Ball is going to be enough. Guzzlord, as amazing of a Pokemon as it is, it got top 3 in the European International Championships. When it faces off against an Abomasnow in a 2-to-1 shield advantage, it's not going to be having a good time, because Weather Ball is a beautiful, boom, charge move. Good game as we farm down the Vigoroth. This team overall, pretty solid. I made some rusty plays. I think that's ultimately due to the fact that I haven't battled in like a week because of EUIC. I just focused on shoutcasting and the tournament there. But this team, diving in the Jungle Cup for the first time, I can say Abomasnow and Vigoroth is just incredibly strong. It was a really great team to start off with. And again, I think Yonkis had a Clodsire variant that can do very well on the lead for you if you want to use that as an option. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We're diving back into Go Battle League. And like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.